Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Monday, the 15th of May, 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 finished the day up just a touch, 0.1% or 10 points, to 7,267 points. It was a rough day for the financials, while the real estate stocks did best. Both ANZ and Macquarie Group went ex-dividend today, meaning if you buy shares in those companies tomorrow, you won't receive the upcoming dividend. Those companies finished down 4% and 2.1% respectively. Otherwise, the banks were mostly lower. The big iron ore miners did particularly well. Worst on the day was Elders. Its share price fell 13% after releasing its half-year results for the 6 months to the end of March. Revenue was up 9%, but pre-tax earnings fell 38%. The bottom line was hit by weaker crop input prices, stuff like fertiliser, poor weather, and lower livestock prices. Boss Mark Allison attributed the slide in the share price also to poor sentiment around agricultural stocks. Story number 2, plenty of corporate activity today. The board of Newcrest Mining, Australia's largest gold digger, accepted a $26.2 billion bid from North American giant Newmont. Private equity group TPG upped its offer for InvoCare, Australia's largest funerals group. Following the new $1.9 billion bid, the board of InvoCare agreed to open its books to TPG for due diligence. The board also said it will recommend the offer to shareholders, assuming an independent expert's report backs it and there's no superior offer. Now, the share price of InvoCare, which owns brands White Lady Funerals and Simplicity Funerals, jumped 12% today, the best of the top 200. Staying in the M&A world, Aristocrat Leisure will buy a NASDAQ-listed gaming software company for $1.5 billion. The purchase of Neo Games will give Aristocrat a foothold in the fast-growing US online gaming market. And PointsBet has agreed to sell its US operations to global sports giant Fanatics for $225 million. Its share price tumbled 21% on the news. Pretty much the group's conceding it can no longer compete in the US market. Story number 3, today we're checking in on lumber prices, planks of wood, which have fallen to their lowest level since May 2020. It's a reaction to expectations of a recession in the US economy and subsequent slowdown in construction. Lumber's trading at about $350 per 1,000 feet. It was about 5 times that level 2 years ago. Now, I'd say tough times for lumberjacks, but prices are now back to more normal pre-COVID levels. Story number 4, in Victoria, the Liberal opposition says it's open to supporting a package of tax reforms to drop $10 billion in upfront stamp duty. The Department of Treasury and Finance has been examining options to overhaul the Victorian tax system as part of a housing affordability package to cut the upfront cost of buying a home. Allowing buyers to switch to the option of paying annual land taxes is expected to get a run. Now, the system is operating in New South Wales, though the new Labor government wants to change it so that only first home buyers purchasing houses up to $800,000 will receive the option of opting into land tax. All in all, things are changing on the stamp duty front, and that isn't a bad thing. And story number 5, there were 2 significant elections over the weekend, one for President of Turkey and the other for the Prime Minister of Thailand. Turkey is heading for a runoff vote after counting shows that President Erdogan, who has spent 20 years in power, has a lead of more than 2 million votes, but that's not enough to avoid a second round on May 28. That will pit him one-on-one against his main rival, who has the backing of the nation's broadest ever grouping of opposition parties. And Thailand's pro-democracy parties notched a strong victory over the weekend, setting up the biggest challenge to the royalist-backed establishment since the military seized power in a coup nearly 10 years ago. With 99% of the vote counted, the Move Forward Party, an advocate of changing a law that restricts criticism of Thailand's powerful monarchy, led both in total seats and popular votes. But whether the party will provide a prime minister depends on the vote of the military, which gets to appoint 250 senators. That's it for the afternoon report for Monday, the 15th of May, 2023. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning with a Tuesday edition of Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.